I see Draymond behind me.
Okay.
But don't act like it wouldn't been in the 80s. He would have been knocked out.
Hey, come on, Sam, stop.
In my opinion, this idea that players of this modern NBA era wouldn't be able to play in the 80s or the 90s is a bad way of looking at it. Because honestly, the game is still physical, very physical. It's just that players are limited to a certain level of physicality that they can impose on their opponents, thanks to the NBA rulebook changes that happened because of the past eras, such as the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s. Calling players of this generation soft is very funny to me, hilarious, jokes, because the game is moving forward for the better. Players back then was literally exploiting the rules and the rulebook to make statements. To me, there's nothing skillful or competitive about intentionally trying to commit harm to your opponent. And here's another thing. When I hear people say that they miss this type of physical activity from these players, I just laugh honestly, because this wasn't a common thing. This didn't happen every single night. I can pull up flagrant fouls from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, the 2010s, and current time, because the game is still very physical. It's more focused on skill aggression now. That's the difference between now and before. Now, if you understand what I meant by that, then great, you get it. If not, then you most likely want these players to just fight each other like it's a WWE storyline going on. I mean, who doesn't like drama and altercations, right? But at the same time, if you call yourself a basketball fan, you're fine with how the game is right now. Of course, back then, there was enforcers who would make sure you feel the pain when you try to go inside the paint or when you try to go around the screen. You'll get touched up. And that's because the rules was more loose than what it is now. Because at the end of the day, the players themselves is a product. Hurting one another is bad for the business of the NBA. Ask Adam Silver. People want to see the best players in the world play their game in a skillful manner because it's good for pushing the game forward internationally. I mean, you can still miss physical basketball if you're talking about getting away with taking a player out of midair or clotheslining a player while they're attempting to attack the rim or punching on players just to send a message. Sure, that's on you. You can have that. I'm gonna stick with what's in front of me right here. To me, this is the best that basketball has ever looked, and it's only gonna get better. I'm gonna catch y'all later though. Hit the weight room and drink some water. Be smooth, coach. Peace.